everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Helen and today I thought I would do a book haul. I have 9 books here to show you that I have accumulated recently, and this is a video, one of a series of videos to celebrate my 2nd year on BookTube. So I will start with a haul. So the first 3 books I want to talk about are 3 indie books that I've acquired. As you may know, I enjoy taking part in the Indie Accords Readathon. I did it last year and I've done it this year. Lana got in touch with me this year and said that last year I'd won a prize to do with the readathon, and the time had passed by and she said, so let me have your wish list. So I sent her my Amazon wish list, but I wasn't really sure how many books on the were actually indie. I needed to kind of go through them and pick out the ones that were. In the end, she kindly sent me a voucher, so I picked 3 books off my wish list that I thought to be indie, and so I've got them here. So the first one is the Corfe Castle Murders by Rachel Mclean, which is part of the Dorset Crime books. This is number 1 of those books. I love the Bournemouth area, and me and Andy did visit Corfe Castle. I think we've been there twice now actually. I think the first time we went was when we were celebrating a year that we'd just been together a year. Gosh, now we've been together, what do I want to say, 13 years. But we'd been together a year, so we decided to go to Bournemouth. Andy hadn't really been before. I always went to Bournemouth as a kid for holidays, so we went together and we took a day trip out on a boat to like Christchurch and things, and then took a trip to Corfe Castle. And then when I was pregnant with Sophie in 2015, just before I had I had Sophie in the August. In the May, we went with my mum and dad to Bournemouth as well, and we went to Corfe Castle then as well. So this one says, meet DCI Leslie Clarke. She's a straight-talking city copper who doesn't suffer fools gladly, and she's been transferred to rural Dorset. After being injured in a bomb attack, Leslie is presented with a choice: early retirement or a period of respite in a calmer location. But things don't stay calm for long. Before she's even started her new job, Leslie is dragged into investigating a murder at one of England's most iconic landmarks, the imposing Corfe Castle. Leslie must hit the ground running. Can she get along with her new partner, Dennis Frampton, a traditionalist who doesn't appreciate her style? How will she navigate the politics of a smaller force where she's a bigger and less welcome fish? And most importantly, can she solve the murder before the killer strikes again? So it says it's a character-driven mystery, perfect for fans of Anne Cleeves, Faith Martin and Joy Ellis. I haven't read any of those, but as I said, the setting appeals to me. I do like a mystery, so I hope I love this. And then I don't know how many are in the series, but I would imagine there's going to be more than one if this is the starting one. This one was published in 2021, so she can't have written that many, but yeah, there's one to try. The next indie book is one called Butterflies in November, and that's by Oda Eva Olafsdottir. I've read one by this author before. I cannot for the life of me remember the title of it, but I read it for Iceland last year in Eurovisionathon, and this is by the same author. I may keep this for Eurovisionathon next year. There's another book that she's written called Hotel Silence. That wasn't the one I read either. I just can't remember the one. I think it was called Miss Iceland, I think it was called. This one says, it's been a tough day. She's been dumped twice. She's accidentally killed a goose, and now she's suddenly responsible for her best friend's deaf-mute son. But when a shared lottery ticket turns the oddly matched pair into the richest people in Iceland, she and the boy find themselves on a road trip across the country. With cucumber hotels, dead sheep, and any number of her exes on their tail, Butterflies in November is a blackly comic and uniquely moving tale of motherhood, friendship, and the power of words. So, because I enjoyed Miss Iceland, I wanted to try another by this author. And then there's also Hotel Silence. So if I can't wait to read this one, then I will get Hotel Silence and read that for Eurovisionathon next year. But yeah, there's another one. And then finally, there's Gracie Fanshawe and the Trouble at the Tower by Susan Brownrigg. I actually work with Susan. I've read the first Gracie Fanshawe book, and then I've read, oh my goodness, why has it gone out of my brain? Katana and Pirate's Curse. I'll put a picture up of it. I'm terrible with remembering things, but it's definitely Katana. It's about a girl who ends up on a pirate ship as part of the crew. Um, so yeah, that was like an adventure book, and I really enjoyed that one. The Gracie Farshaw ones are set in Blackpool, and Susan does so much research. She spends lots of time in Blackpool to research these books. And so, as I'd read the first one, I definitely wanted to read the second one. I already ordered this book once from Waterstones, and when it came, it was damaged and quite poorly damaged, so I sent it back. And I didn't want to order from Waterstones again for that reason. Um, I bided my time, and now I've got it, so I made it, and I'm going to ask Susan to sign this one for me. The first Gracie Farshaw book, I did get a signed bookplate for, but it was before I worked with Susan and before I knew her. So that one is signed, and so I want this one signed too. It says, the stage is set for a thrilling mystery. Gracie Farshaw is delighted to get a sneak preview of the children's ballet's Christmas spectacular. But when the curtain rises, things go horribly wrong for the young dancers. Accidents, pranks, and a poison pen letter make Gracie wonder if someone is trying to spoil the show. Can Gracie and her friends stop the saboteur before their final act? So in the first book, her mother goes missing, and so it focuses around that, and now we're looking at the children's ballet. So yeah, excited for that one. So they're the 3 indie books that I've got. The next one that I've got, me, Andy and Sophie have just come back today after spending overnight in Manchester. We were going to go to the Science and Industry Museum. That's what we were going for, but my plan was if we stayed overnight, we didn't have to get up stupidly early to get on the train to go. We could just be there and take our time. As it happened, when we went to the Science and Industry Museum, they're doing a lot of renovations, so there are parts of it that were shut off, but I wasn't overly impressed. Like when we got there, they just scanned our ticket and nobody really, like we'd never been there before, so I was expecting that they might ask us if we've been there before, tell us what kind of things were on that day, or nothing like that. So we kind of just walked in blind. There is a level where there's like experiment bits, like little interactive bits, and Sophie did enjoy those bits, but there really wasn't a lot there, I felt. So we literally stayed there half an hour while she had to go on the experiments. There was a part that said the book den, and obviously I was really excited to go and have a look. And when I explored that area, it was basically a picnic area where you could take your food and eat it. And it was just a little nook at the back with just a few books in a pile, and so that made it seem like it was going to be more exciting than it was. So we spent the time just walking around Manchester. We did go into the main library there, and that was on Tuesday night when we got there. Sophie said that she wanted to go for a little walk out from the hotel, and we ended up in the library with only like half an hour to go before it shut. So we didn't get, well, not even that, it might have even been 15 minutes before close. So we did have a little look in there. The children's area in there is gorgeous. And then we went into Waterstones on the Wednesday morning to have a little browse, and that's where I picked up the Map Makers by Tamsin Merchant. This was only published in February this year, and it's meant to be, let me look, £12.99, and it was being sold for £5 in Waterstones, so I couldn't leave it there. The cover was what attracted me to it. And something rang a bell, and then I remembered there's actually one called The Hat Makers, and that's number 1 in the series. So I'm gonna have to go and get that one first to read it. But then this is the second in it. So it says, ever since Cordelia Hatmaker discovered a hidden map in her missing father's precious telescope, she's searched London for him by starlight. She's sure that Prospero is out there somewhere. She never expects to stumble upon a secret society of map makers, or to learn that magic is all around if you just know where to look. But danger is lurking around every corner, and Cordelia must convince the rival maker families to work together to bring her father home and to save magic itself, the enchanting sequel to the Hat Makers. So I'm assuming, so you've got the hat makers and then you've got the map makers. So I don't know if there's other map maker families mentioned within this that are gonna other maker families that are gonna pop up and then future books. But I'm excited to try that one, and I couldn't leave it there for £5 for a hardback. Next, I picked up in, which library did I pick it up in? I think it was Goulburn Library, so one of the Wigan libraries. We'd gone to take 3 books back of Sophie's, and then we ended up picking up quite a few. I haven't talked about all the ones she's got here. There's one that we're reading together that we're really enjoying. But The Consequence Girl by Alistair Chisholm. If you remember, not long ago I read Orion Lost and absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I haven't read Adam 2 yet, but I really want to. But when I saw that, I didn't even know he had another one out, and I thought, I can't leave that there. I really need to read it soon. It says the world of Colony is in ruins. No one knows what caused society to begin tearing itself apart, but the secret may lie with Cora, a girl living on the mountainside far away from others. Cora possesses an incredible ability, one that can change lives in ways both good and bad, but there are people looking for Cora and she is forced on the run and must decide who she is, what she can do and how to fix the world. If this is anywhere near as good as Orion Lost, it's going to be a 5 star. And again, I need to read Adam 2. That's on my wish list and I'm going to try and get that soon as well. Then, while we were in Manchester today, I had read that McDonald's have what's called a Happy Readers Bus, and it's doing a tour of the country and they're giving out free books to children. And it happened that I knew we were going to Manchester, and today, the 31st of August, was the day that the bus was going to be in Manchester. I didn't know whereabouts it was going to be. I assumed it would be in the city centre. We travelled to 3 different McDonald's to see if the bus was there, and it was finally a little bit further along from Piccadilly Gardens. Once we tried that last one, if we couldn't have found it, we'd have just left it. I did try and tweet McDonald's and the National Literacy Trust to see if they could tell me whereabouts it was, but they mustn't have logged on. So we finally found it. And Sophie, there was a small selection of books. So clearly they have certain authors who are up for sharing their books in that way. Tom from Fly was obviously one of the authors because they had the Creakers on there and Danger Gang. I'm trying to think which other ones. Greg James has got one out called, I think it's The Great Dream Robbery. That was on the BFG by Roald Dahl was on there. Some more chapter books. There was one by, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. There's no point me even mentioning it because I can't even think. It wasn't the Wimpy Kids stories. It was something along those lines. Anyway, Sophie picked this one up straight away. She still loves picture books. She's 7 now and she is taking an interest in chapter books, but she still loves to pick up a picture book. So we got How to Grow a Unicorn by Rachel Marisro and Stephen Lenton. It's basically about a little girl who wants to give her nan something for her birthday and ends up overgrowing a unicorn plants. Sophie, I read it there and then outside the bus on a beanbag. It was a lovely bus. The staff were great, and there was lovely beanbags and things outside that you could sit and read the books for. It's a great idea. So keep an eye out because there are still some places. We were only going Manchester today, so it kind of fit well for us that we were going there. But it's worth going for a free book, and I think it's really credible for McDonald's to link up with the Literacy Trust and do this to introduce reading to children. So there was that one, and then the girl on the bus mentioned this one as a chapter book to Sophie, and so she kindly said she could have 2 books. It's Summit of the Dragons by Ed Clarke, and it says Mari Jones is looking forward to a quiet summer on the beach with her secret dragon Gweeb. When several unexpected arrivals throw her plans into chaos, not only has Gweeb's dragon family returned to Llanwrwyd Beach to lay their eggs, but disgraced scientist Dr. Griffiths is back too and sniffing around for any signs of the tiny reptiles. With summer tourists flocking to the beach, can Mari and Dylan keep the dragons hidden, or will their big secret be revealed to the world? On the back of this book it says The Secret Dragon by Ed Clarke, so that must be the first one, and this is actually a sequel. So hopefully you can read them out of order, but that's no issue because I'll just try and get her the other one from the library. And then another one from Wigan Libraries is I Lost My Granny in the Supermarket by Joe Simmons. It says Harry thinks looking after his gran will be easy, but after sheets of toffee at the supermarket, things go from wrong to really wrong to so unbelievably wrong. Can Harry track down his gran? There's only one way to find out. Read this book. Basically, this little boy is trying to earn puppy points. His mum has told him that if he earns 500 puppy points for doing like chores and helpful things around the house, he can have a puppy. And so he's on 425 puppy points. He's managed to say that if he looks after his gran on this particular day, that he'll get another 50 points, and then he'll just be 25 points off getting his 500 points to get a puppy. It is really funny. We are, let's see how many pages it is. I can't even see. Well, so we're talking 286 pages. The writing's quite big, the chapters are quite short, and we are on page 121. And she loves reading a few chapters a night, so that's great. We were looking for something to carry on from the Story Treehouse books, which she loves, and we've picked out these. Terry and Andy, who write those books, have got some other books out that we found, so we're going to try those ones next. But these ones also, there's other books. I swapped my brother on the internet, my parents cancelled my birthday, and I stole my genius sister's brain. Just entertaining for kids. So there's that. So they are the books that I've recently acquired from the library, like I say, kindly from a prize from Lana, and then that I'd purchased myself, and that we got through the book bus as well. So look out for the book bus. Make sure you take part in India Codes. They are doing a different India Codes is each year around is it August time? Have we just done it, or is it July time? But they're also doing like a quarterly one now, which you can follow different paths, and it doesn't matter what books you're into because you can kind of fit them into the prompts. So they're doing that at the minute. So just go over and check out Lana's book channel, and I will link it below, and the India Codes Twitter, and they've got a Discord, and go and see if you fancy that. I'm loosely going to try and take part in the different paths for the quarterly ones, but really I like having that yearly readathon to get used to. I'm trying to do that more often now, so I always try and do that one in July. Bookopoly I try and do, that seems to fall in September, and so I've done my roles for that, and that's obviously starting tomorrow. So yeah, I have certain ones that I take part. Obviously I do Eurovisionathon in April/May, so I kind of like having that. So sometimes if other things are introduced, like Bookoplathon do 48-hour ones, I'm not going to do 48-hour ones. I can't stay up for that long. It wouldn't be many hours that I'd do. So when some of the readathons do the smaller ones, I don't necessarily take part. I wait till the bigger ones that are like a month long, and then try and wholeheartedly throw myself in. So yeah, that's where we're up to with books I've acquired recently. I'm trying not to buy too many more, but I've also, for my booktube birthday, asked 4 of my booktube friends to give me a prompt each. I was going to do a come shopping with me, and I might still do that, but I might do it where I go into libraries, charity shops. There's a new book cycle opening in Leeds, so I might go there. I might have a look at my library borrow box. I might have a look on my shelves, just so that their prompt is picking out the book that I read. I think I'm going to do that for October. I will use those 4 options, and possibly when I did my booktube anniversary, when I'd been on booktube for a year, I asked, I think it was between 10 and 13 booktubers to pick books for me, and I've probably shamefully only read about 3 or 4 of them books. So maybe October needs to be the time that I do these prompts and the books that I haven't read yet from those people. And I know that what's the readathon called that Becca and Liv do, their readathon? I will put the name of it up here. Sorry, Becca and Liv, I'm terrible. Why is it not coming to me? It's like Disney themed one, and I think this one's going to be Villains versus Princess. The Royal Readathon. What? Oh my god, why did that take me so long? I try and take part in it every year, at least loosely, but I want to wholeheartedly. So I'm thinking, if I have October's TBR as my 4 prompts from this booktube anniversary, including the books picked for my first year anniversary that I didn't get to, and then trying to fit them into the Royal Readathon, as well as use the other prompts to pick other books, that's October sorted, just off the top of my head. So I hope you enjoyed my haul. I hope you enjoyed looking in advance what my October TBR is going to consist of, and I will speak soon. Bye.